In early 2013, 21-year-old Canadian student Elisa Lam arrived in Los Angeles alone. She was intelligent, curious, and adventurous. She documented her travels on Tumblr, sharing photos, thoughts, and reflections about life. Her writing revealed someone thoughtful, sometimes vulnerable, but deeply observant. Los Angeles was one stop in her solo trip across California. She checked into the Cecil Hotel. At the time, the hotel was known for cheap rooms and a long, disturbing history. Located in downtown Las Skid Row area, it had seen decades of crime, suicides, overdoses, and even connections to serial killers. But Elisa didn't seem afraid. She posted photos of bookstores, city streets, and fashion displays. She wrote about feeling shy around other guests but excited to explore. Then, something changed. Her online activity suddenly stopped. Her parents, back in Canada, grew worried when she failed to check in. For Elisa, regular communication with her family was normal. Silence was not. On January 31st, 2013, she was officially reported missing. Police began searching the hotel. They checked her room. Her belongings were still there. Clothes, personal items, luggage. It didn't look like she had packed up and left. It looked like she planned to come back. Days passed, then weeks, and then investigators released a video that would shock the world. The footage came from a security camera inside one of the hotel elevators. It was dated January 31st, the same day Elisa was last seen. In the video, Elisa steps into the elevator. At first, everything appears normal. She presses several buttons. Then she waits. But the doors do not close. She presses more buttons. All of them. She leans forward and looks out into the hallway. Then she suddenly steps back, almost as if she's avoiding someone. Her body language changes. She moves into the corner of the elevator, pressing herself against the wall. She peeks out again. There is no one visible in the hallway. The elevator doors remain open. Then, Elisa steps out into the hallway. She looks left, right. Her movements become strange, jerky, exaggerated. She waves her hands in the air. Her fingers move in odd patterns. She appears to be talking, but no one else is visible. She steps back inside, then outside again. The elevator still refuses to close. After nearly 2 minutes of unsettling behavior, she exits the elevator completely. Moments later, the doors finally close. She is never seen again. When the Lapt released this footage to the public, it went viral almost immediately. Millions of people watched. Many felt something was deeply wrong. The question became unavoidable. Who, or what, was Elisa reacting to? As the search continued, hotel guests began complaining. The water pressure was low. The water looked dark. Some said it tasted strange. Others described a foul odor. At first, management assumed it was plumbing issues, but the complaints kept coming. On February 19, 2013, a maintenance worker was sent to inspect the rooftop water tanks. The Cecil Hotel had 4 large cylindrical tanks that supplied water to guest rooms. The worker climbed the fire escape and accessed the roof. What he found inside one of the tanks would become one of the most disturbing discoveries in modern true crime history. Elisa Lam's body was floating inside the water tank. She was nude. Her clothing was later found at the bottom of the tank, along with her watch and room key. The tank lid was closed. To reach the tank required accessing the roof, which was supposedly locked and alarmed. The tank itself was tall and heavy. Investigators now faced terrifying questions. How did she get onto the roof? How did she climb into the tank? Why was the lid closed? And if she was inside for weeks, why did no one notice sooner? The official autopsy report would later state that Elisa Lam's death was ruled an accidental drowning. According to the coroner, there were no signs of physical trauma, no evidence of assault, no indication of another person being involved. Toxicology reports showed traces of her prescribed medications, drugs used to treat bipolar disorder and depression. However, some experts noted that the levels of medication in her system suggested she may not have been taking them consistently. For someone with bipolar disorder, irregular use of medication can trigger severe episodes. including paranoia, hallucinations, or manic behavior. Police concluded that Elisa likely accessed the roof through a fire escape. They stated that the alarm system on the roof may not have been functioning properly at the time. As for the water tank lid, investigators later clarified that when maintenance workers found her body, the hatch was actually open, despite early media reports claiming it was closed. But even with these explanations, the public remained unconvinced. The elevator video felt too disturbing, too unsettling, too strange. Why was the elevator not closing while she was inside? Why did she appear to hide? Why press every button? Online forums exploded with theories. Some believed she was being chased. Others believed she was experiencing a severe psychotic episode. And some insisted something far darker happened inside that hotel. The Cecil Hotel itself only intensified speculation. Opened in the 1920s, the hotel had once been glamorous. But by the 1960s and 70s, it had fallen into decline. It became associated with suicides, some guests jumping from windows. In 1962, a woman named Pauline Otten jumped from a window and landed on a pedestrian below, killing both of them. In the 1980s, serial killer Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, reportedly stayed at the Cecil while committing murders across Los Angeles. Another serial killer, Jack Unterweger, also stayed there during a crime spree. Over the decades, overdoses, violent assaults, and unexplained deaths became part of the building's history. By the time Elisa checked in, the Cecil carried a heavy reputation. Some people believe environments can hold energy, that certain places become magnets for tragedy. Whether superstition or coincidence, Elisa's death added another chapter to the hotel's dark legend. The case began blending reality with urban myth, and the internet turned it into something even bigger. The elevator footage became one of the most analyzed security videos in internet history. Viewers slowed it down frame by frame. Some claimed to see shadows. Others thought the hallway appeared distorted. There were rumors that parts of the video had been altered, that timestamps were removed. Conspiracy theories emerged. A government cover-up, a paranormal presence, or a hidden person just outside camera view, a secret involvement of hotel staff. One theory even connected the case to a tuberculosis outbreak in Skid Row around the same time. The test used to detect TB was called LAM ELISA. Some believed the name similarity was not coincidence. However, there is no evidence linking her death to any biological event. Investigators maintained that the simplest explanation remained the most likely: a young woman experiencing a severe mental health crisis. The elevator buttons, according to experts, may have prevented the doors from closing because she pressed the hold function. Her strange hand gestures could align with manic behavior. Her hiding in the corner may have been paranoia. The roof access, possibly through a fire escape. The water tank, a tragic accident. Yet for many, the unanswered questions linger, because even if the explanation is psychological, the video still feels terrifying. As investigators reconstructed Elisa's final hours, they tried to determine exactly how she reached the roof. The hotel's fire escape was accessible from certain floors, while alarms were said to exist. Reports later suggested that not all systems were fully functional at the time. It was possible she accessed the roof without triggering anything noticeable. But climbing into the tank was another matter. The tanks were nearly 8 feet tall. To enter one would require climbing a ladder and lifting a heavy hatch. Some questioned whether she could have done this alone. Yet investigators argued that adrenaline, panic, or a manic episode could explain extreme actions. Inside the tank, the environment would have been disorienting. Cold water, darkness, slippery metal walls. Once inside, climbing out would have been nearly impossible. If she had entered voluntarily, even in confusion, she may have quickly realized she was trapped. That possibility is what makes the case so haunting. Because if it was an accident, her final moments were likely filled with fear. Elisa Lam was not just a headline. She was a daughter, a student, a writer. Her Tumblr posts revealed a young woman wrestling with identity, loneliness, ambition, and mental health, but also hope. After her death, her parents filed a lawsuit against the hotel, claiming negligence in failing to secure the rooftop water tanks. The case was eventually dismissed. The court ruled that the hotel could not have reasonably foreseen someone climbing into a water tank. Legally, it was closed. Emotionally, it never was. The internet transformed her story into something almost mythic. Paranormal investigators visited the hotel. YouTube documentaries gained millions of views. True crime communities debated endlessly. Some argued that romanticizing mystery distracts from a painful truth. Mental illness can be unpredictable and dangerous if untreated. Others insisted too many details remain unexplained. The case became a reflection of something deeper, our discomfort with uncertainty. We struggle with the idea that something tragic can happen without a villain, without a clear narrative, without justice. Sometimes, the truth is simply chaos. Years later, the Cecil Hotel was rebranded and renovated. Its name changed, its rooms redesigned, but the building's past still lingers. Guests continue to ask about Elisa Lam. Tourists stand outside taking photos. The elevator, that same elevator, still exists. The footage still circulates. Every so often, it resurfaces online and a new generation discovers it. They watch. They speculate. They pause the video at the moment she presses the buttons. At the moment she hides. At the moment she steps out of frame forever. And the same questions return. Was she alone? Was she afraid? Was she running from something? Or from her own mind? The official ruling remains accidental drowning. But emotionally, the case resists closure. Because the video feels like the beginning of a horror story. And we never saw the ending. In the end, what makes this case endure is not conspiracy. It's vulnerability. A young woman traveling alone. Struggling privately. Experiencing something no one else could see. The elevator footage captures a moment frozen in time. Confusing. Uncomfortable. Deeply human. There is no confirmed attacker. No proven cover-up. No verified paranormal presence. Only unanswered questions and a tragic outcome. Sometimes the scariest mysteries are not about monsters in the dark. They are about how fragile the human mind can be. Elisa Lam entered an elevator in Los Angeles in 2013. The world watched her press buttons. Step in. Step out. Look into an empty hallway. And disappear from view. Weeks later, her body was found in a place no one expected. Officially, the case is closed. But for millions who watched that video, the unease never truly ended.